I'm making a memory wire bracelet with the Soft Flex Specialty Beading Design Kit. Hello, welcome, my name's Carol. My parcel from Soft Flex arrived last week and it is called Specialty. It's got some beautiful beads in it, some copper and bronze, and oh, they're just lovely. I am going to be making a memory wire bracelet and I would love you to come along for the ride. These are all the beads that came in the kit. Now I'm not going to go through them one by one and I'm not going to be using all of them today, but they are so stunning. I particularly love these three beads here, the copper ovals, the bronze beads, and these ones as well. And I'm going to be using those in my memory wire bracelet. I'm also going to be using these ones as well. So I've got some lovely beads to play with. As well as these beads, I'm going to be using some of my own beads as well, because last time I used just the beads in the pack and I found it really challenging and I wasn't happy with the result for one of the pieces anyway. So I decided today I would not limit myself to using just the beads in the pack. I'm going to be using some others as well. So let's get started. Here's my memory wire. This is a 5.5 centimeter memory wire and I know from experience that this one fits me perfectly. So I'm going to be designing this bracelet from the center out. I need 5 rounds, but of course you need some space to make your loops as well. So I'm going to cut it about 5.5 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. And of course I'm using memory wire cutters to cut my memory wire. You don't use your normal cutters because it will damage them. Memory wire is super hard and it's super springy. As you can see, I can pull it out and it springs back and it holds its shape within reason. It's made from stainless steel, which is why it's so hard. Now I'm going to take a bead stopper and put it on one end. And that will just stop my beads falling off while I'm designing my bracelet. Now that you've seen what's in the pack, I'm just going to move some stuff out of the way because I'm not going to be using it. I'm going to start with these 2 copper beads. And I'm going to put them in the center of my bracelet, but I think I need something between them because if I butt them up like that, I think they look a little weird. So what I was thinking is I might take a couple of my rondelles here, these ones have rhinestones on them, and put 2 of them between my 2 beads, like that. I quite like that idea, so I'm going to put those on first. So finding my other end, and I'm going to pop on my 4 beads. Now getting these beads onto your memory wire is a little bit of a challenge because they're quite large. The hole is straight, your memory wire is curved. That's fine, you will get there. Just push it on. So I'm popping on my 2 rondelles and my 2 beads. So I'm going to kind of position those about the center. That's what I have now. I quite like that. It looks a little bit like a bow, doesn't it? Next, I think on either side of this, I may put another of the rondelles. Let's have a look, see what that looks like. Yes, I quite like that as well. Now I'm going to use one of these big beads. Now these have a really large hole in them, so putting one of the rondelles on the side will stop you being able to see the hole. And I think I'll put one on the other side as well. I just need to make sure that I've got enough left to do the other side of the bracelet. That's what I have now. Quite like that. I really like the copper with this bronze bead here. I might pop on one of these. Now, I'm not going to have enough of the silver rondelles to go on either side of this bead, but what if I use one of these gold ones and make it a mixed metal bracelet? I quite like the way that's shaping up. Okay, and maybe I'll put my big bead on next, this one here. Once again, a big bead with a straight hole. And maybe we'll go with another of the gold rondelles. That's what I have now, and I'm going to reverse that on the other side and check if it goes all the way round or whether I need to add more beads. So I'm taking my bead stopper off and I'm going to put it on this end. I can put it right up close to the beads, that's fine. And now I'm going to find the other end of my wire and start adding my beads, making sure I use the same design. That's what I have now, and as you can see I'm a little bit short, so I'm going to add another one of these bronze beads. That will be a good start. Where's my end gone? There we go. And then I think I might fill the space with these beads here. I'm hoping I've got enough for what I think I will do. So there's my bronze bead on, and I'll pop on one of these, see how close I am. I haven't filled the gap yet, so let's do the same thing on the other end and then we'll see how many beads we need as fillers. So just moving my bead stopper from that end to this end and feeding on the beads just like on the other end. Going to take my bead stopper off because it's getting in the way and I don't need it right this second. So now when I look at this, I can see that I'm still a couple of beads short of my full round. Now it is actually pushing out a little bit because of these big beads, but that's okay. So I think what I might do is actually, looking at what I've got, I wonder if some of these little beads might work. Maybe I'll put one of those on and another one of these on each end. And will that be enough? And will it look okay? I think it looks okay. Let's try it on the other end. See if it's going to be enough. Okay, I actually think that there is one too many beads on there. If you can see there, it's crossing over. It's always challenging when you're designing from the center to get everything sitting right. But I think I've got too many beads on there now. Maybe not. I think it will naturally sit like that. So I'm actually going to leave it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right, so the next row, I'm going to use just these beads, I think. So it really doesn't matter if they run into the other ones at all. So I'm going to put my bead stopper back on this one. Now this will be one of the rows on one side of the main run, and then I'm going to do something else on the other side. All right, so I'm just going to put these on and do a whole round of these beads. They're very pretty. They are clear, but they've got a gold coating on them, which gives them an AB finish. And their faceting makes them just sparkle. I really love faceted beads. I've got my beads on, and I think I've got enough on for one round. Maybe I need one more. Yes, I do, because remember, this is actually where this round starts, not here. So I actually probably need two more, so I'm going to put two more on. Oh, just the right amount of beads. That was lucky. I swear I didn't plan that. Yeah, I think that works better. So that's what I have now. So this is the first bead of the run, and this is the last bead. So they're sitting quite nicely together, or butted up against each other. Shall I carry on with this side, or should I do this side? I might go back and do the other side. And normally when I do design a memory wire bracelet, I often lay the beads out on my mat, but today I'm just designing on the fly. Now I feel like I need something as bright on this side as I have on this side, and I don't have any of these. But I do have some faceted rondelles. These ones are 8 by 6, and I really think that they're close enough that they will work. They're not exactly the same, but I don't think that matters. So let's put on a round of these beads and we'll see what it looks like. While I'm stringing those, if you're interested in making the jewellery that I'm wearing today, I'm wearing my butterfly and leaf necklace. I'll leave you a link in the description box for the tutorial for this one. The earrings are just made from the components of the necklace. And I'm also wearing a memory wire bracelet, so I'll leave you the link for that one as well. All right, I'm at the end of that run, and I think that that works really well. I was a little concerned about putting the rondelles next to these beads, but I actually think they work really well together. I'm not worried about it at all now. Now I need to put on my first and fifth round, and I'm feeling like I need to add some dark because this bracelet has a lot of dark in the center, but it's all very light. And I don't think it's giving enough contrast, certainly not for me anyway. So I'm going to use some metallic blue beads. And I know that sounds weird, but these have an AB finish and they kind of read more in that coppery tone. So let's take a look. So these are the beads that I'm intending to use. And they don't really read as blue. They read as kind of black or silver, or they do have a little bit of a coppery finish as well. So I'm going to try these and see what these look like. I did kind of lay these beads out before, thinking, yeah, they do go together. So I'm not completely just grabbing something off the shelf. I'm not sure about it with this copper or this topaz colour, but I'm not prepared to give up just yet. Let's see what it looks like when they're all on. And of course, cuff bracelets are a huge trend this year, and even though this isn't a cuff, it reads as a cuff when you wear it. So memory wire bracelets are a really quick and easy way to make a cuff bracelet, or give the appearance of a cuff bracelet. That's what I meant to say. There it is with its blue round, and I actually really like it. I think it draws the colours from the copper out to the side, and it provides a little bit more contrast than I had before with just the topaz beads. And I have taken that one whole round. And I'm actually thinking that I probably will do the same thing on the other side, because that will kind of anchor the outside and make the inside, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll see what that looks like. If you're enjoying this tutorial and you'd like to see more, it would be really wonderful if you would hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, and also give me a thumbs up. That's how my bracelet is looking now. I do really like it with those darker beads on the outside. I think it kind of frames it. So to finish my memory wire bracelet, this is super, super easy. So what I need to do is make a loop in one end. So I'm going to make a loop in this end, and then I'll shuffle all the beads up and make a loop in the other end. So to make a loop, all I need is my round nose pliers. And I'm going to make quite a small loop, so I'm putting the wire in the jaws of the pliers quite close to the tip. Now, if you haven't made a loop before, I will leave you a link in the description box to a video all about how to do that. But this is pretty easy. You don't need to worry about centering it on the wire or anything. So all we're going to do is hold our wire between our thumb and our forefinger, and just make sure that the wire isn't sticking up out of the pliers. And then just twist. Now, I always find with memory wire, it takes me a couple of tries to get it all the way around. So you can release your pliers and keep moving them back. All right. Now, my loop is sitting up a bit, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a squash with my chain nose pliers. I like to make my loops go in towards the center of my bracelet so that they don't catch on my clothes. There's my loop, and then I'm going to run all of my beads back to the other end, or back to the loop. So you want to make sure that you've got no gaps in your bracelet before you make your loop. And mine is looking like all of the beads are pushed hard up. And I'm going to take my cutters and I'm going to cut my memory wire to about 1 centimetre or so from the last bead. And this is where you have to make sure that you're holding your beads on so they don't all fly off. I'm actually holding mine on with my thumb there. And notice I'm holding the end of the wire between my 2 fingers here, and that will just stop that piece of wire flicking off too. So still holding my wire really, really carefully and my beads, and I'm going to do the same thing on this end. So just making my loop. There's that end there. Here's my bracelet. It's very pretty, isn't it? I actually really love the colours, which is a huge surprise for me because I don't usually work in those kind of topaz brown colours. or those goldy colours, but I actually really like this, and the fact that I used those silver rondelles just puts in that little bit of silver that I like. I also really like the fact that I used those blue beads on the outside, and the reason I did that was to add some contrast. It also brings it back into my colour palette, so that's a good thing as well. I really hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, and as I said, if you would like to see more, it would be really wonderful if you would hit that subscribe button. Remember to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon.